What's going on, guys? This is the long-awaited personal vintage t-shirt collection video. I'm basically going to cover everything from band tees, movie tees, rap tees, art tees, obscure tees, college tees, and just basic essentials that I wear on a day-to-day basis. Going through my closet to make this video, there's a few things that I am getting rid of that will be for sale. So I'm going to get through those first, and then I'm going to hit a few categories, and then at the end I'm going to go through my 10 favorite tees in my collection. One of the pieces that I will be getting rid of is the size XL 1990s Bulls tee. I honestly just have too many Bulls tees as it is, and I don't get to show love to this one as much as I should. So for that reason, it will be for sale soon. I had a lot of band tees till about 6 months ago, so I am purging this Psycho Circus Kiss tour tee. This is a 90s Mexican print, and it is a size large, and it will be for sale on the website. Alright, so the first category we're going to get into is vintage college tees. Keep in mind, I did not go to a big college. I went to a community college for a few short years, but in terms of these tees, these are just ones that I like the way they fit, or the colors, or just the way they look. The first one is going to be this Western Illinois University tee from the 80s. It is a crew neck material. Unfortunately, the tag is ripped, but as you can see from the measurements, it fits insane. It probably fits wider than it does long, and it's just one of the reasons why I like it so much. The next one is this 90s Purdue rugby long sleeve. Me personally, I just love the way this fits, and this Purdue embroidery is so sick. I try to have a shirt of every color in my closet just in case I need an outfit that requires that color t-shirt, but this is the only orange shirt I have, and I love the colors and the distressing and the fading on this tee. This is a 90s Miami Hurricanes tee. It's most likely a size large. Even though it has some wear and some potential blood stains, I still love this shirt. Getting even older with the college tees, this is a Michigan State quarter sleeve tee. I'm assuming this shirt is actually a practice jersey if it's not just a regular t-shirt. It's on a Artex tag size large, and if I were to assume the date, it's most likely 70s to 80s. And the last college tee is this 1973 Carthage Athletic Department. It is two-faced, meaning you can fully flip it inside out. And it is another shirt that is yellow with a blue collar, and I love the fit of this shirt. It fits like modern easy Gap material because it is double faced, like I said. So yeah, love this tee. Alright, and the next category we're going to get into is faders. This little category is fully shirts that started off as one color and faded to a completely different color. The first one is going to be this 80s Marines tee. Love the way this one fits. Nice little circle graphic there and a initializing takeoff hit on the back. Second is this thrashed and faded Native American nature tee. I actually got this tee out of a $10 bin because it had a huge gash in the armpit, which I repaired to match the colors of the graphic, and then further distressed the tee even more to my liking, like the sleeves, the neck, and this little heart with pinholes on the back. This tee I actually got as a gift. Me and my cousin like to give vintage stuff to each other every year for Christmas and birthdays and things like that. And one year he got me a Disney Twilight Zone Tower of Terror tee. I love the fade, especially with the colors on this one, especially the back, and the lighting is just so good with the fade. Another insanely faded shirt with similar color scheme is this 90s Arizona wraparound tee. I love the vibrant pastel colors on this shirt, and they work so well with how the shirt is faded. The last shirt is a insane sun faded Puma promo long sleeve with a crazy cat big face hit on the front. Love this little sleeve hit, and it's an XL on this 90s Puma tag. The next category is everyday basics. I'm gonna try to roll through this one pretty fast. 90s Adidas center logo tee with the stripes down the sides. Distressed and faded Wilson athletic wear tee. Everybody needs a 90s camo tee, or even a few good 2000s Nike essentials. Getting into a stripes theme, I had this 2000s Stripe Lee button tee, and this 2000s retro fit tee with stripes down the sleeve. Now I don't have many Harley tees, but here's the ones I do have. I had this tee specifically because it's the only maroon shirt that I have, but I really like the front hit on this one, and the back silver hits are pretty nice. Now this tee I like purely because of the way it fits. This is a 70s Harley size large on a Collegiate Pacific tag. I really like the front hit, and the back location graphic gives me like a prison jumpsuit vibe. Now growing up as close to Chicago as I do, I see a lot of Bulls tees, so here's some of the ones that have stuck around throughout my collection. This 1991 trophy tee. This 1996 Most Wins tee, and this is actually the first tee that I bought because it was vintage. And lastly, this white Bulls newspaper tee. Now I only have one sports tee that's not a Bulls tee, and it's this 90s Duke tee. with a Great Balls of Fire hit. Now these next few tees kind of blend into a topic that I would call obscure. For example, this tee that just says Low Life Drunks. Next up is this Mission Impossible parody tee. Next up is a shirt that you can't really read 90% of the time. And bring it up to the middle of these letters and you can see the message. And as you know, I like brand promos similar to the Puma long sleeve, just like this insane Reebok promo. Now at the end, when we go over my favorites, you're probably gonna see a multiple movie tees, but here's some movie tees in its own category, like this 1992 Speed Racer, this 90s Men in Black 2, featuring a Back in Black hit, and here we have this Madea on the Run tee with a killer graphic featuring the cops following her with her face in the reflection of her rearview mirror. In the last section before we get into the favorites are the band tees. First tee in the music section is this 1994-1995 Boyz II Men tour tee. Next up is this 90s Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch tee. Now this one I actually got for super cheap in a wholesale pile. It's a 1994 John Denver tee, and a lot of his music is in movies that I grew up watching. Now I have two tees in here that are not per se vintage, but one day they'll be vintage grails. Like this 2023 It's All a Blur Drake tour tee, and I thought I'd include this one because it actually pays homage to a vintage Michael Jackson tee. And if this isn't a vintage grail, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. And here we have a 2010s St. Pablo Kanye tour tee. Next up is a 90s Tupac memorial tee. It's a size XL on a 90s Cronies tag. And if you know anything about this tag, the shirts that they're on always fit amazing. My mom always played 90s rock around the house when I was growing up, and this is probably one of my favorite rock tees. This front hit is so sick, and the Metallica spell out with the sun on the back is just amazing, and it's peaked in value since I bought it. Last up with the band tees before we get into my 10 favorites is this 2004 Korn tee. It's a size XL on a giant tag. In my opinion, this is one of the cooler graphics that they've done besides the Fall of the Later series. Honestly, I can't name 5 songs. The only reason I have this tee is from a memory from a campground where I first heard a Korn song. Since then, I've never had a love for Korn, but it's always kind of had my respect. Now it's finally time that we get into my 10 favorite vintage tees in my collection. And it's kind of odd that I'm starting with this one because though it's on the bottom of the top 10, it's probably the most expensive shirt that I own. This here is a 1990s parking lot boot Mike Tyson rap tee. It's a brand new size large on the Fruit of the Loom tag. This shirt features Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield and their third fight that never actually happened. This shirt is a promo for that fight. This is one of the shirts that was sold in the parking lot for cheaper than the shirts inside the arena. The bottom quote says, Mike the Cannibal Tyson and Evander the Real Meal Holyfield. There's no blood on his ear, but he does have a muzzle. It's got a few storage flaws, but otherwise this shirt's perfect. This shirt was purchased during a buyout from the original owner, which was also the bodyguard for Mike Tyson, and he bodyguarded a few other celebrities in the 90s like Janet Jackson and some other ones. The reason why this shirt is so expensive is because that bodyguard actually printed and was selling these shirts himself, and so all except 5 of the shirts were confiscated by Mike Tyson's team, and this is one of the remaining 5. Like I said, me and my cousin Dom grew up watching a lot of Madea films, and for some reason I kind of just never get tired of that kind of comedy. And coming in on the 9 spot is this Tyler Perry's Madea Goes to Jail tee with this sick movie quote on the back. It's a 2000s print on a size XL Gildan heavy cotton tag. Coming at the 8 spot is this 1993 size large Little Rascals tee. I visited my grandparents a lot when I was a kid for probably months at a time, and they had a little VHS player, and one of the movies I would always watch was Little Rascals. I love the kids and their style in this movie, and the font on this tee is so sick. Now the stupid comedy that's in Madea films can be very well compared to stupid comedy in Jim Carrey films. And a Jim Carrey film that was my favorite growing up is Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. I got this as a gift from my cousin Dom when we did our yearly gift exchange. Now another band my mom always played around the house when I was growing up is Fleetwood Mac. This is a 1997 Fleetwood Mac tour tee. I used to hate on it growing up because I would just always hear it, but Fleetwood Mac is definitely one of the bands I listen to currently. Coming in at the 5 spot is another movie tee with a movie that I've always watched as a kid. The CGI in this movie is honestly terrifying for a kid to watch, but the concept of the movie is just so cool. This is a 2000s Where the Wild Things Are tee. I love this olive green color and this comic book style graphic. It's on a 2000s M&O knits tag, size XL. It has a few minor pinholes, but I can't hate on that. And this tee also always gets me compliments at vintage events. Coming in at the 4th spot is this 2006 Lollapalooza tee. I'm honestly not a huge fan of ringer tees, but I honestly could not pass up on this one. Though this tee is a ringer, it's also printed on a 2000s Nike tag, which is so ironic because one of the artists as a back hit is actually Kanye West. Now, I talked about this in my first ever YouTube video, and the first ever pair of shoes that I bought for myself was a pair of Osiris's. So coming in at the 3 spot is this 2000s Osiris tee. This shoe is very similar to the ones that I was wearing back in the day, and I love this Osiris tag. And this fits more on the baggy side, but for the look of the tee, it works. Like I've said multiple times, my cousin Don was kind of an inspiration to me getting into vintage and fashion and sneakers and things like that. But before fashion and vintage, one of the things we were really into together was Marvel movies. So coming in at the number 2 spot is this 1990s Marvel tee. This tee is on a Marvel Spider-Man tag in a size XL. It features Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet on the front and all of the heroes in that 90s comic book style on the back. The colors of this tee is just so dope, and I kind of have my room in a 90s aesthetic, so this as wall core is just so amazing. Now, before the video comes to an end, it is time for my favorite vintage tee in my collection. Though the price tag for this shirt is a little bit on the high side, the price tag isn't just the reason I like this shirt. This shirt is a 90s MC Escher tee. It could easily be classified as an AOP or a wraparound tee because of the graphics that wrap around to the back. It's single stitch, dated and licensed 1991 by MC Escher. Now, there's about 3 reasons why I really like this shirt. Before I get into vintage and fashion, I was into shoes, and the way I got into shoes was by doing restorations and customs. And I've always just been into art as a kid. And getting into fashion, the brand Supreme was kind of a gateway for me. And one of the first Supreme tees I had was a pink MC Escher long sleeve. And the last reason why I like this shirt is because though I wasn't in college for long, one of the classes that really stuck in my mind was Art Foundations. And one of the artists that I learned a lot about in that class was MC Escher. Studying art in college kind of gets old. There's a few things that just go in one ear and out the other, but MC Escher's art was definitely one that stuck. And with that, the vintage t-shirt collection video is over. If you're interested in buying the 2 t-shirts that I showed at the beginning, be sure to hit that link to the website in the description. Be sure to follow me on my socials if you're interested in the things that I sell or the things that I like. And stay tuned for a part 2 because I have yet to show outerwear, sweatshirts, crew necks, and pants. And thanks for watching. Peace.